Hello YouTube, my name is Tom and I am the Crypto Investor, and it's time for our weekly roundup of the crypto markets. We start with the heat map and look at the total market cap, and you can see that overall we do have a red week for the crypto space. There are exceptions, the biggest being Cardano. ADA up 45% nearly to $2.30, breaking the $2 mark with some style and out now in blue sky, trailblazing. We also have Polkadot, which poked its head at the $50 mark. It's up 16% for the week. Really impressive moves there for Polkadot. We cannot ignore Polygon Matic, up 132% for the week. Their scaling solution is looking very impressive and attracting a lot of interest. I think they're up to now 15th place in the market cap charts. But the big story this week has been Bitcoin, now down 19% for the week at $48,000 more or less. And Ethereum had a stellar start to the week, has given up a lot of those gains and is now down 1.89% for the week. And it's that disparity between the two of them that is the real big story this week. Let's jump into the charts and have a look at that. So this was the broadening channel which we had between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And we had the breakout here, a retest and a resumption up, and the last 2 weeks have been phenomenal for Ethereum, really gaining ground versus Bitcoin. And you wouldn't say that this move is necessarily done. This could just be the beginning of a very, very sizable move for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. If we look at the previous highs in this ratio, up to 0.15, this was of course during the ICO feverish time when everyone wanted to have Ethereum to invest into ICOs. But for me, that this time feels worthy. Ethereum certainly feels worthy of this ratio, and I think has further to go. We can use Ratio Gang as a nice indicator of this. They say we should be here, as in Ethereum should be at least 50% of the market cap of Bitcoin when you consider its utility and application. So we're now at 48.5%. We did get to 50. This page had fireworks going off on it. But yeah, it's just given back a little bit of those gains. I think Bitcoin more and more is becoming a safe haven within the crypto space in a way, as we get contractions in the total market cap. It's almost, we may see more and more people using Ethereum as the gold to the stock market in a way. Let's look at the total market cap, and this is something which, if you saw my video during the week, you'll see that I have added these bands, these red and green bands. And let's just take this down to the daily, it makes it a little clearer for you. And what you can see here is that, really for the last 6 months, we've been in this nice upward channel, the total market cap. So this is all the cryptocurrencies added together. You can see now we're at $2.2 trillion. We have been as high as $2.6 trillion. But what I put on this was, this is, when we're in the green zone, it's a great time to use this as an indicator. This is the time to be greedy when others are fearful. And when we're in the red zone, this is the time to be fearful when others are greedy. We've only been in this channel for 6 months, but until we leave it, that's what I'm doing. I'm using this as a way to know when to add and know when to trim my position. I'm personally a hodler longer term. I wouldn't ever trim more than 20% of my total position, but this is a good way of just optimizing the gains that you can get in your portfolio. And perhaps it's a good time to tell you that this is not financial advice. You should go and do your own research. Please do not just listen to some stranger on the internet. So anyway, I find this very useful, and as and when we're hitting these lines, I will be sending out alerts and videos. So please make sure that you subscribe and tick the notification box, and also give this video a like if you're finding it helpful. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance next, and this is really interesting to see. It really has been plummeting since the beginning of April. I mean, we got down to 60, and then in the past 45 days, it has not been able to catch a breath, and Bitcoin's dominance has been dropping and dropping. Let's take this out to the weekly to get a bit clearer. And you can see that historically, Bitcoin's dominance has never been as low as 36% or so, and we're rocketing our way towards it. We're at 40% now. Wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin get a little bit more traction here, but I feel it is only a matter of time. We have to remember in 2017, the crypto the crypto market cap community effectively was a far less mature ecosystem. Now we have, we have DeFi, we have NFTs, we have, consider how much more mature the projects now being built on Ethereum are. So it would make sense for this to get completely smashed, in my opinion. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin get as low as 20% dominance during this cycle. And then, as we potentially enter the bear market, then Bitcoin's dominance will rise again, absolutely, as people look for that safe haven asset within the crypto space. So, it's really interesting to see how that's going to play out. It's also interesting to see how that will influence the 4-year cycle as well. As we know, the 4-year cycle is dictated by the halving of Bitcoin. So, as Bitcoin's dominance drops, of course, that 4-year cycle won't be as strong. Let's look at Bitcoin quickly. And it's a bit of an ugly chart. Tidying this up a little bit, but overall, I was saying previously that we have been consolidating sideways, and we continue to do so. A lot of support coming in around 46,000. Also, strong resistance at 60,000. We were recording this video last week exactly at 60,000. It has given up a lot of its gains, but I still don't see any technical damage done here for Bitcoin. If we do break here, I think, have your buy orders in the, around 38, 39,000 or so. Perhaps we do come and test this, but I think it would be short-lived. I imagine we would come back up. So I just see this as further consolidation for Bitcoin before eventually building steam for its next leg up. I think if you're nervous, one of the best things to do is, if in doubt, zoom out. And I like to look at the log charts. If we look at this, let's stick the log chart on here. So this is looking at, let's take this onto the weekly. This is looking at Bitcoin on the logarithmic chart. If you're not familiar with logarithmic, that is basically each one of these is a power of 10. So, it continues to double up in size. Well, it depends how I change this, but, you get the idea. It allows us to project very, very large differences in price and numbers on a smaller graph effectively, or chart. So we've got the halving events, and then we've got the peak, and then we've got the halving event, and then the peak, and then of course the most recent halving event, and here we are. And if we are to this peak after the halving, if we're going to take an average of that time period, then that's going to stick us over here in September the 15th or so. So, this doesn't, for me, feel like, the end of a cycle. And I think the other thing that really doesn't feel like the end of the cycle is that cycles don't end with consolidation like this. Cycles end with blow-off tops. If we were to look at the previous cycle high in 2017, look, this is what happened. This kind of blow-off top. It doesn't end with a continued consolidation. So I don't think, for me, this looks like the structure of a market end by any stretch of the imagination. Another nice way of illustrating that logarithmic curve is this rainbow price chart for Bitcoin as well, and it just kind of gives us that awareness of where we are and how hot we're getting as far as price. And so again, this doesn't point to me as a market top personally. And another thing for us to look at as well is just comparing the previous bull runs to this one. And you can see that, we've got on here the 2013 and the 2017 bull runs as well. And here we are, we're kind of perfectly between the two of them. And if, history doesn't repeat itself, it often rhymes. And if it does rhyme in any way to this, then we have a very exciting coming few months ahead of us. So, just want to share those things to give you that situational awareness if you're starting to feel very nervous about your positions in Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies. All right, so let's quickly look at Ethereum as well. And after 6 consecutive green candles, we may have our first negative week for Ethereum. Wouldn't put it past it getting back above 39.55 in the coming hour or a few hours or so before the close. But all in all, it's had an incredible run up, and I think perhaps it's now Ethereum's time to take a little bit of a breather and maybe consolidate sideways. So I'm expecting to see, similar to what we're seeing with Bitcoin, finding support coming in here at 3,700 and resistance at 4,200. Perhaps we move sideways here before the next move upwards here for Ethereum. What I do really like right now and what I'm looking at cycling towards is DeFi. If you look at the DeFi Pulse Index, so this is an aggregation of the top 20 DeFi projects, so big names like Uniswap, SushiSwap, Aave. They are, this is historically very, very, very cheap compared to Ethereum. You can see the last time we came down here in January, we got this big, big move upwards versus this isn't, valued in Ethereum. If we're looking at this valued in US dollars, we'd be looking at, bottom left to top right on the charts. But this is DeFi valued in Ethereum, and you can see that we've got a similar bounce to what we had here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see us come back up and eventually break this. The safest way to play it is to set an alert on this line here and wait for the break of that. But yeah, I'm personally taking a bit of my Ethereum profits and putting it into DeFi, more and more into DeFi here. I think the fact that DeFi yields an income for you is a massive aspect to it, and I think that institutional money is sniffing around DeFi and very interested. So that's just my take on things, and that's what I'm looking to do personally. All right, let's just look at a few of the other main cryptocurrencies and see how they have been performing this week. Let's start with Cardano because it's just having an exceptional week. All right, so we had this consolidation phase that Cardano had been in, and on the 6th of May we broke it, weren't sure, came back, retested it, we confirmed it as support, and then it has shot off. And that's what you're looking for, is that confirmation of support on a breakout. That's the great time to invest, to be patient. And so wait for that. You can set an alert on this as well and get that. And then when you get the second alert, it's retesting it, that's when to jump in. And, it's hard to know how long this move could be. Probably we could measure how big this was and expect to repeat it again. So we may be coming to the top of that. Let's just have a quick look here. All right, let's just put a vertical line in there. Oops, wrong one. Let's just put in this. Okay, and then we can move that over to here, and it gives us an idea of how big the range would be. So you wouldn't be surprised now for Cardano actually to be finding some resistance here, because it looks like we're potentially at the top of that breakout. That's how it would normally be measured. So just interesting to see that it is looking to stop there. All right, so moving on to other top coins, BNB. So the SEC were investigating Binance for potentially money laundering, not money laundering of themselves as a company, but money laundering they're basically facilitating money laundering for users of the platform. We had this beautiful wedge breakout here, and then we've been in this upward channel. We're just coming down to test that lower end of the channel. So potentially, good time to be adding to BNB. Or if you feel that the FUD that's generated from the SEC is substantial enough, then we may see a break of this channel. So, I'd be waiting to see a break, a retest, and then that's when you would be effectively shorting it. Not that I'm planning to short a bull market, but interesting to see that is coming down to the lower end of that channel. One to keep an eye on for sure. XRP, I'm not a fan of the project or the coin, but it's still a big old player. I think this is interesting. We have this big old wedge pattern which is forming, and it's coming to a conclusion. So we will likely in the next 4 or 5 days be making a decisive move up or a decisive move down. So overall we're in a bull market, so you expect the move to be up towards $1.9, $2 or so. So even though I'm not a fan of the coin, I would buy a breakout of this, and I think there's a good chance for a nice 25% gain there potentially. So that's just something interesting to keep on your charts. Let's take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin's just been in this kind of widening channel, really in no man's land between the two. As and when you come down and test this lower limit here of 230 or so, that's a great entry. And again, looking to sell the resistance up here. Link. I set up a similar thing to the total market cap. We're in this channel. It's a great time to, as and when we come to this lower limit here, you can add to your link position. As and when we come to this upper limit, it's a good time to be selling. So very, very similar. Just play that channel. And look at Uniswap. Basically, just again, after this big move, we've been in this upward channel. We're in no man's land in between. Again, sell the resistance, buy the support. Fairly straightforward there. Have we missed any? What have we got? Oh, Polkadot, of course, we can't miss you. So Polkadot has effectively broken out of this. Well, you could make an argument for this whole consolidation zone to be up here effectively with $50 being that further limit. So you wouldn't necessarily say that we've definitely broken out. But it has touched an all-time high, which is a big deal for Polkadot. We'd be looking for a close up here, ideally. That would be really nice to get the weekly close for Polkadot. But yeah, Polkadot looking really, really bullish. Nice structure here, and with the parachain auctions coming up, there is appetite for the token. So that, and Kusama, of course, on the back of it, doing very well as well. Kusama breaking to all-time highs this week. So that really is it. That's Doge. It is a top 10 coin, so we should include it. But yeah, we're just basically, again, in this upward channel. And however you may feel about Doge, is it a meme coin? Is it actually going to become a store of wealth or something that is used for commerce? Remains to be seen. But it is. I think the appearance of Doge is changing of these coming weeks. I was listening to the Bankless podcast, and I can't remember the gentleman from 3 Hours, but he's also saying, it makes sense as a store of wealth. So maybe people will start to change their opinion on Doge. I don't hold any. I've always stayed clear of meme coins, but it's interesting to see a few different murmurs of people's opinions of Dogecoin. All right, that is it for now. I hope you found that useful. I think, as I said, if in doubt, zoom out. I'm personally, maybe we do see a bit more of a downturn in the market in the coming weeks or so. But overall, if in doubt, zoom out. Have a look at Bitcoin on the logarithmic chart, and I think it helps to really kind of allay any concerns and fears. We are in a delightful bull market and expecting higher highs in the coming months or so. All right, happy investing, everyone, and I'll speak to you soon. Please like and subscribe if you found this useful, and thanks for being here at the end. All the best.